Yeah.
Spiritual leader. Continue reading of this book. Oswald Sanders. So the theme is discipline. Without a sense of essential quality, all other gifts remain as dwarfs. They cannot grow. So discipline appears first on our list. Before we can conquer the world, we must conquer the self. A leader is a person who has learned to obey a discipline imposed from without and has then taken on a more rigorous discipline from within. Those who rebel against authority and scorn self-discipline, who shirk the rigor and turn from the sacrifices, do not qualify to lead. Many who drop out of ministry are sufficiently gifted, but have large areas of life floating free from the Holy Spirit control. Lazy and disorganized people never rise to true leadership. Many who aspire to leadership fail because they have never learned to follow. They are like boys playing wars in the street, but all is quiet. When you ask, is there a truth? They respond, no, we are all generals. No one will obey the command to charge. Donald Barnhouse notes with interest that the average age of 40,000 people listed in the Who's Who's in America, the people who run the country, was under 28. Discipline in early life, which is prepared to make sacrifice in order to gain adequate preparation for the life tasks, paved the way for high achievement. Great statesmen made a speech that turned the tide of nation affairs. Quote, "May I ask how long you spent preparing that speech?" Question mark. Asked an admirer. He quoted, "All my life," he replied. "The young man of leadership caliber will work while others waste time, study while others snooze, pray while others daydream. Slothful habits are overcome, whether in thoughts, deeds, or dress. The emerging leader eat right, stand tall, and prepare himself to wage a good warfare. He will without reluctance undertake the unpleasant tasks that others avoid, or the hidden duty that others evade, because it wins no public applause. As the spiritual filled life, he learns not to shrink from difficult situations or retreat from hard-edged people. He will kindly and courageously administer rebuke when that is called for, or he will exercise the necessary discipline when the interests of the Lord's work demand it. He will not procrastinate, but will prefer to dispatch with the hardest task first. His prayer will be, God, harden myself against myself, the coward with pathetic voice, who crave for ease and rest and joy. Myself, arch traitor, to myself, my hollowest friend, my deadliest foe, my clog, whatever road I go. End quote. Few men were more faithful and courageously in living loving rebuke or speaking frankly to people than Fred Mitchell, British director of the China Inland Mission and chairman of the English Jesuit Convention. Sensitive and affectionate, he did not turn from the unpleasant interview. He always spoke in love after much prayer, but his words did not always fall on receptive ears. He confided how much he had suffered when his faithfulness to God's work led to the loss of a friend. As he reaches old age, Fred spent even more time praying before speaking. Often, when needed to deal with a matter of discipline or cut across the desire of others, he would write a letter and keep it for a few days. Sometime on reading it, he was assured it was right to send it and it would be mailed. Sometimes he destroyed a draft and wrote another. When the founder of the World Dominion Movement, Thomas Crockett, was interviewed in the mission field, he faced this question. Quote, "To what position of the field do you feel yourself basically called?" He answered, quote, "I only know I should wish it to be the hardest you could offer me." The reply of the disciplined person. Linton described Florence Nightingale. It was not by gentle sweetness and womanly self-abnegation that she brought order out of chaos in the Scutari Hospital, that from her own resource she had clothed the British Army, that she had spread her dominion over the series of reluctant powers of the official world. It was by strict method, by stern discipline, by rigid attention to detail, by ceaseless labor, by the fixed determination of an abominable will, beneath her cool and calm demeanor, her lurk, fierce and passionate fire. Samuel Cheswick, the great Methodist preacher and principal of Cliff Richard College, made an immense impact on his generation. He rose at 6 each morning and took a cold bath, summer and winter. His study light was shadowed out before 2 in the morning. That rigorous lifestyle was the outward expression of his intense inner discipline. Throughout his life, George Whitefield rose at 4 in the morning and retired each night at 10. When that clock struck, he would rise from his seat no matter who is visitor or the conversation, and say good-naturedly to his friend, "Come, gentlemen, it is time for all good folks to be at home." Buckley Buxton of Japan would urge Christians to lead disciplined lives, whether they were in business or evangelistic work. This includes discipline in Bible study and prayer, in tithing their money, in use of their time, in keeping healthy and by proper food and sleep and exercise. It includes the rigor of discipline, fellowship among Christians who differ from each other in many ways. These disciplines of his life and his urging for others came because of experience. This piece of personal biography illustrates the meaning of an unknown poem. And the poem reads as this: "The heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night." That's it.